Sneak peek at my forthcoming book, Retire on Wellington. I sent an email to my subscriber base today. And actually, for some reason, some of the graphs didn't show up that well. So I posted on my website. Here's a little bit messed up. My wife just gave me a nice cut. Looks pretty good, though, doesn't it? Yeah. She cut all the boys' hair. Looks good. Of course, I got that little bit sticking up. But anyway, so I want to share this with you because I think you'll get a lot out of this. I think it's interesting, and I cannot wait to share the whole book. But excuse me. So let's go to Heritage Wealth Planning. You might get a pop-up, which I just got, and then I deleted it. Or if you want, that will tell you can download my book, the tax. But I don't have it down here. The tax bomb on in your retirement account. You can download the PDF version for free, and that will put you in my email chain, if you will. Then you scroll down and see this quote I got right there. I just changed this because I love this quote. I know that there's nothing better for men than to rejoice and do good while they live. Man, that's ain't that the truth? All right, and you scroll on down, and you see right here, sneak preview of my book, Retire on Wellington Fund. You click this, and I don't know, do they have ads on here? I guess not. All right, cool. They might have ads. If you want to help me out, just click an ad. I literally have no idea how it works. If you click an ad, do I get paid? I imagine. I don't know. But anyway. All right, so let's go into this. Let me see if I can't make this a little bit bigger. Boink. There we go. I hadn't written. Let's see. The last time I'd written to my subscriber list was over a month and a half ago. Wow, that's not good. So I haven't written much, and that's why I start this with the saying, "It's been a while, hasn't it?" And then I tell people, as always, please unsubscribe below if you no longer want to receive emails from me. And we'll just read this. Well, I've been busy as a bee in a bonnet. Bzz, bzz. My financial planning did not fall off hardly at all, which was amazing to me, to be perfectly honest with you. Makes me wonder if the numbers we've been told about 40 million jobs being lost are actually correct. And I kind of did a video on that earlier today. This whole thing doesn't make sense. I had a big pain in my knee, I think I told you all about, and I don't do squats anymore, and it's still a little bit there, but it hurt from walking, and now it's gone. The pain, I can feel it right now, but walking doesn't bother me anymore. So I've been taking Pablo for long walks, Pablo, aka King of all Scanlons, and I've been working on his book. All right, so I'm going to share a sneak preview. For instance, the below shows what would have happened if you had 100,000 when you retired in 1930. You put 4 years of expenditures, 24K, in a non-interest bearing cash account, and the rest should be 76K. Thanks to my man Bruce for pointing that error out. 76K in the Wellington Fund. And you had 6% initial withdrawals adjusted for inflation. And so what you can see here, the red is the withdrawal. It's not very clear, but we'll make it clear when we get the book done. The red is, I did a snippet on this to post this on here. The red is the withdrawal, the annual withdrawal amount, and the green is the ending value. The ending value is on the right axis. The withdrawal amount's on the left. So we're starting with 6,000. You're adjusting it with inflation. You can see it drops. And we're starting 1930. It drops, and then it starts hitting with inflation right about here, right during the first couple years of World War II. So what this chart shows you is you can see you literally have less money. Deflation from 1930 until basically 1942, 12 years of prices going down relative to what you started with. All right, and then it starts going up with just a moderate flow with inflation. Now, a couple years are pretty significant right here towards the end of the war, but other than that, it's pretty level. Look at this. 1948, 1949, 1950, you had a little bit of a jump right there, and then it levels off again. I've heard so many people say, you lost half your purchasing power in the 50s or after World War II. Well, I mean, you really didn't. Anyway, and then the green is the ending value, and we're starting with $100,000, and you can see it drops to zero right there in 1951. So even starting in 1930, the beginning of the Great Depression, you still had 22 years, basically, 21 years, I guess, and basically 22 of income to live on before you ran out of money. I think that's a win, frankly. Yet if you would have done everything the same except started in 1931, your money would have lasted. You would have seen here again the withdrawal value, the ending value. I don't know why that one's crisper. That's weird. All right, I'll have to work on that. You'll see right here the withdrawal amount. Again, we're going down. We're starting 1931, then we start going up, and here are the 50s. And you can see is going up right there. And then the ending value in 1960 is about $70,000. Not too shabby, if I do say so myself. So basically, you started with $100,000. You ended, actually, the graph seems off. I have to double check that. The graph seems a little bit off, so I have to fix that. But anyway, you start with $100,000. This looks like it's showing 75. Not sure I got that, and but I'll fix that. And you ended with basically $75,000, and you had you've taken 6% a year out adjusted for inflation. Crazy, huh? Now check this out. This is Wellington with barbell. Again, this is the barbell. All right, with 5% withdrawal started in 1930, and you can see. Oh, they're doing every 2 years there. Okay, I gotcha. So here we're doing every 2 years. I don't know why I do that. 32, 34, 36. Whereas these are doing it every year. Okay, so I got to fix that. All right, that's good. Before I publish the bush. Here you're doing 1930, 30, so you can see that. And here we're starting again with 5% a year adjusted for inflation in 1930. And yet here by 1959, 30 years later, you still had money left over. I mean, it's about $40,000. 30 years later with 5% adjusted with inflation withdrawals. Pretty good if you ask me, and that's, again, starting in the Great Depression. By the way, that includes a 0% interest on your cash account. I'm just doing that because I want to show you somewhat the worst, I hate to say worst case scenario, but a bad case scenario. Anyway, so that's pretty good. So in all three of these circumstances, you survive 30 years, and 22. We're taking 6 and 5% a year out during the Great Depression, not getting any cash on your any interest on your cash at all. So we survived 30 years, and that was starting the Great Depression with no interest on the cash bucket. So while everyone is focusing on the 4% rule, they're leaving tons of money on the table to their estate when they could have spent that money to party like it was 1999. Oh, but Josh, but what about a hyperinflation? It's coming. Listen to the Money GPS guy and all these other guys. Well, I do dive into that in my book. I don't have the spreadsheets up here, but we do. And it could get ugly. No two ways around that. But is that likely to happen? Let's look at the data. What countries signify what the U.S. may be looking like in the future? Survey says Japan. I use that in my best Richard Dawson voice. Remember Richard Dawson? Family Feud. Survey says. I used to watch that when I skipped school. Japan right now has an inflation rate of 0.1%. Not 1%, but 0.1. With an annual GDP growth of negative 2.2. An unemployment rate of 2.6. A debt to GDP ratio of 238%. And a 10-year government bond paying 2 basis points. 2. Not 2%, but 2 basis points. Are we more like Japan or, let's say, Turkey, which is kind of sort of in the EU, kind of the West? Let's take a look. Turkey has an annualized GDP growth of 4.5. Not too shabby, right? But the government bond is paying 11.75. That's great. Inflation is 11.39. Unemployment is at 13.2%. And government debt to GDP is only 33. So which is more like us? Well, I would go with Japan. Who does the U.S., good old U.S. of A align closer to? And here's where I take on a little bit of a political talk, so just be advised. Can you even still call it the good old U.S. of A? Seems like a lot of people now are saying the USA was never good. And for that, if for the record, if that's your viewpoint, get off my channel. Don't want you here. U.S. is a good country. And then I hear all the time, sometimes, Josh, why do you got to get political? Well, because America is the best country the world's ever seen. And I'm sick and tired of it being dragged through the mud by people who align with commies, if they're not outright commies. I'm sick of it. America's good. And we need to stick up for it. Scars and all. We have plenty of scars. Well, do you not have scars too, my friends? Because we're all human beings, and America is a country populated by human beings. All human beings are flawed except one. And you ain't him, and I ain't him. So if you think Turkey is more likely to be our fate, well, my book will probably scare you because it does get ugly with hyperinflation. I'll show you. But if you think it's close to the Japan model, it seems to me that living off the 4% rule is living way too frugally. Don't do that. So I think you'll like this. I wish I had the charts up here, but I'll put this link in the show notes and love to hear your comments. Thanks now.